Okie dokie. I'm pretty sure we're live. Let me have a look. This is just the motions I have to go through when we start the show, so I can make sure everything's working. And I can also get the chat up on my phone, so I can see what's going on. Definitely got it up there. Hey, hello Greg, how are you? Oh, turn the volume down there, otherwise I hear myself. Boy, oh boy, what's been going on for everybody? Let's have a look. Brian, g'day. Aussie Paul, g'day. Rick, g'day. Greg, g'day. I'm not sure how many we're going to get on today's live show, being the Easter long weekend and all. Hello, Steve or Spanner. How you going? It'd be interesting to see how many people we get on. Got audio and vision. That's good news. Ears and eyes are working. Got my cup of tea. What's everybody been up to? Hopefully you've been out taking some photos. I've been a little bit slack lately. I'm going through one of my dips. It's hard to explain. But I'm just so busy with my business and busy with my health that photography has not been a priority, which is a bit slack of me, isn't it? Because here I am, a shining beacon of photography, and I haven't been doing a lot. So I need to snap out of it, but that's going to happen. You know why? As I'm heading to Tassie in 2 weeks. That's pretty exciting. So in 2 weeks' time, there won't be any Pixel Chatter because I will be on my way to Tasmania for just over a week of photography. So I'm pretty sure that'll get the camera working hard again. It's besides that little bit of macro, I haven't done a lot at all. I'm not alone, says Spanner. Yeah. You know what? I've just been really busy. And I think one of the things the boss says to me is I spread myself too thin. I take on too many projects, do too many things. And it's even crossed my mind what to do with this YouTube channel. Do I keep pushing with it? I've got videos I haven't edited. It's a lot of work. And I love it, but at what cost, you got to decide at what cost you keep doing this, because it doesn't make any money. A lot of people think YouTubers make money. I think you do if you've got like 500,000 followers or something. But it's not my main gig, I don't focus on it 100%. I do it because I enjoy it. I love the community. So the VIP group, I think that's been the cream on top for me, the most favourite part of what I've created. But it's just tough. So I think if you can all be patient with me whilst I get my mojo back, and I reckon Tassie will turn it on a bit for me. Aussie Paul, I've been in a dip since 1988. Well, there you go. Hey, Greg, how are you? Great fungi shot, mate. I love that fungi shot you did. Rick, snow here on the west on Bluff Knoll. Man, we've got friends over there in WA, just south of Perth, in a place not far from Rockingham. And I think it's called Rockingham. Anyway, they have been posting about the weather, and somebody posted a map of the south of Western Australia and the temperatures. There was nowhere with the temperature over 10 degrees. It was very cold. As we're here, we've been having warm days. I'm in t-shirts and shorts every day, and been having no issues. Let's see, I'm going to have some problems today. What's going on with my iPad's not charging? We'll see how we go. I think the iPad's going to die on me, which means I'll lose my control screen over there. Anyway, we'll work it out when we get there. Sunday sunset, Monday sunrise looks good for East Coast New South Wales. Sunday sunset, Monday sunrise. Yeah. Alrighty. So what have we got coming up today? Let's have a look. We have got all the normal stuff. And of course, talking about that VIP group too, I want to say thanks to the Patreons for hanging in there with me. I know I haven't been very active lately, but I do appreciate your support as we continue to grow the VIP community online. And it is thanks to you guys that I keep doing what I'm doing. So I really appreciate your support. I did mention Tassie. We do have a couple of spots left available. So if you're thinking in 2 weeks' time you can manage to take a week off and come and hang out with us, do it. We... from what I've seen, if we get that cold change coming across this side of Australia down the southeast, there's a good chance of snow, and I've been going to Tassie for the last 5 years, pretty much every year. I think I went twice one year, in the hope, that I'm going to get snow on top of the mountain. And I think we might get it this time. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, but there's been a lot of cool and cold air coming through, and I think that could be what we need to make it all happen. I also know that with these few cool changes they've been having, that sometimes gets the Nathafagus funny, which is called the fagus, which is like a deciduous beech tree. And when it changes for the autumn, the colours are amazing on the side of the mountains over there in Tassie. So I'm hoping that we get some really nice colour as well. So head to Tassie with me if you want. 4th of May, I'm departing Sydney. We start on the 5th of May. Now, if you are one of the ones coming along, and we've got, I think, 5 or 6 VIPs coming along, I'm going to be staying in Launceston on the final night so the first night after the workshop. So we bring you all back to Launceston. I'm actually going to be staying there, and we suggest you don't try and book any flights out that night anyway, because it's difficult to know exactly if something goes wrong. We won't get back in time for your flight, and that wouldn't be any good. But because I'm staying there that night, I'm going to suggest we have a dinner in Launceston, and now I will let others know on my other Facebook page as well, and we'll all catch up and have a dinner together, which will be a bit of fun on the last night in Launceston. So if you're coming along, make sure you put that in your diary if you can make it. And I don't know where we'll go yet. I'll work it all out once we get there. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a lot of fun in Tassie. And then after that, I'm heading off to the back up to the northwestern corner of Tassie into the rainforest for a few days with my camera, which will be a bit of fun. So I did mention at the beginning, no pixel chatter for a month. That is because I'm going to Tassie. So the next one will be, I think it's the 18th of May or something like that, 17th of May. You keep an eye out for it. I'm looking forward to that. And when we get back, I should have some more photos to show you and, yeah, get excited about. All right. Big Oz, Aussie pool. 15 degrees overnight with tops of 30 during the day. Winter is here. Yeah. That's your winter, hey? Got it pretty good. Sean Herbert just came back from a week in Tassie. The fagus is so close to changing. A little snow at Mount Phil, 2 weeks would be perfect. Okay, good. I hope so. Fingers crossed, eh? Everything crossed. Everything crossed for that to happen. Okay, let's have a look at the VIP challenge. Now, the VIPs are a bit quiet this time. Little bit quiet on the theme. Where are we? Let me bring the challenge up so I can share it with you. So every 2 weeks we have a challenge for the VIPs. The winner of the challenge picks the challenge theme for the next challenge. And on this particular challenge was won by Ren Thielen, and he wanted to do something a bit different. So he picked a conceptual photo challenge with a theme of freedom. And I think maybe that was difficult for people to get their head around, or maybe everyone's just busy. I noticed even attendance in this live stream today is a bit lower than normal. And I think Easter has an impact on everybody, but that's okay. I'm here. I'm not away. So let's have a look and just see what everyone came up with for the freedom. Here we go. As you can see, we've done 42 challenges. All right, fishing midweek. Awesome. Oh, crikey, I clicked that a bit early. Awesome autumn day. This was one submitted by Ren, obviously enjoying himself. And then another one where it looks like he's added a night sky, turned day into night for something different. Quite unique. Whatever's going on there. But obviously, Ren is enjoying himself. Therese Elsie has got free as a bird. Showed us some birds shooting across the front of the moon there. Tommy Halberg. No time for a new photo this week. This photo is freedom for me. Driving away in a car, motorcycle, and no destination. Very cool. And that was it. So the number of entries was very on the low side. So the boss picked, out of those very small amount of entries, the runner-up is Tommy Halberg. And the winner of the challenge is Therese Elsie. So Therese wins another one. Well done, Therese. So you've got to pick the next theme, Therese, in the next 48 hours, and let me know. Otherwise, I will pick the theme. If I don't hear from you, I'm not sure where you are. Hopefully you're around. And then you can pick the next theme. G'day, Izzy. Good to see you joining us today, buddy. How's your Easter going? Hopefully everyone's doing well for Easter. Time for some more of my cup of tea. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. So I'm heading off to Tassie in 2 weeks. Izzy, back to the Cradle Mountain for another workshop. Izzy came on the last ones that we ran last year. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Everyone enjoyed themselves. So we're going to be doing a lot more of that. The boss was showing me last night, or telling me last night, that you can see heaps of fungi photos from Tassie popping up. So what that means, it's fungi season. And I love the fungi in Tassie. They have the best fungi. The best fungi. Alrighty, hopefully everything's still working okay here. I've got something weird going up on my screen telling me something's not working 100%, but hopefully it's still all working okay. Just let me know in the chat box if you can still hear me okay. I think it's just something, my internet's not very good this morning, so we're just going to be doing our absolute best. Now, if you do want to follow me on social media, haven't been very active lately, but you can jump over there and encourage me to be active. This is where I hang out, if you want to come and hang out with me. Facebook and Instagram mainly. Come and hang out with me on social media. Alrighty, so let's talk about photography. I think one of the things that I'm noticing is this tendency to want to, this tendency to have to be very active on social media, and so whilst I share that with you, that I'm on there, I'm not very active at the moment. It is a huge part of our lives now. If you think about in the past, we would take a roll of film and we'd get it developed, and we'd share it with people close to us in a photo album. Now there's this huge influx, and I've noticed with photography YouTubers as well. I've noticed a huge amount entering, and I don't know what it is. I've been on YouTube for a long time. If you look at my first photography video, it was before some of the people like Thomas Heaton even was on YouTube. It's just that I didn't stay consistent. I was very inconsistent with how I went through posting. But I think it's really interesting to see, how many photographers are trying to leverage off of social media, to the point where there was one the other day. I can't remember his name. I noticed he has several 100,000 followers on Instagram. He said, "I'm quitting photography." And this is a guy that you might know his name. If you do, chuck it in the chat box for me. But it's on Petapixel. I saw it. He accidentally sort of got this huge following because he went to Burning Man, took a camera with him, got some amazing shots, and then from that got a heap of work and become a really popular photographer. And here I see people, and I accidentally got a huge following, and now I see people really struggling to leverage off of social media and get frustrated when they don't get a lot of followers, or don't get the it can be a real demoralizing. That's what am I trying to say? Demoralizing? No, motivating. I don't know. Demotivating. Yeah, it can be demotivating. And I think for some people it's easier to get offended, and so. He didn't leave there because of that, but that's what happened. There was another photographer who committed suicide. He had a YouTube channel. You might have seen that several months ago, which was really sad to see. So it's interesting the pressures that social media put on people, not just in photography and everything, but I see it a lot in photography. So, I'm very quiet at the moment. I'm just busy with other things. Everything's good. My health's great, and business is really busy. Photography is not my full-time gig. A lot of people think it is, but it's not. I have a business where we do business coaching and training, and we franchised last year, and that's been keeping me really busy. We've got some really good people on board, building a good team, and that's keeping me busy. And so, I apologise if I've been a bit quiet. But it's funny, and I say that because and I don't know if I need to apologise, because I feel like there's an expectation once you've got a YouTube channel or you've got a following on social media that you have to post regularly or that you have to create content regularly. And I just can't keep up with it at the moment. My brain's not there. I work a big day, and then to come home and sit on the computer and do editing, because these videos, like a 10-minute video vlog can take 5 hours, 6 hours to edit. And I'm not even a complex editor. I look at some of these guys with their videos, the stuff they do, and think they must spend, double, triple, quadruple that time. So I think there is this pressure, and I know it's not just for people with followings like I've got. Like, I don't even have a big following, but you can have a small following, right? You can put this pressure on yourself. So I guess my message is, or my question is it okay not to be consistent, even though that doesn't go with all the algorithms and what people think you should be doing? Because as photographers yourself, do you struggle to stay consistent with things like social media? Do you struggle to stay consistent with posting a photo a day or something like that? To me, I love photography, and I love sharing my passion of photography. So, I'll always go and speak at a camera club, for example, if someone asks me. I love sharing I love sharing how to take better photos and seeing the smiles on people's faces when I run a workshop. I love seeing that and helping people capture what they didn't think they could capture and making it simple. I like to, I love being able to show people how simple it is, but I find the pressure of social media difficult. And I notice other fellow vloggers like Andrew Maher over in WA, I know he's a teacher and full-time, he has a job full-time, but he also loves teaching and loves the community that is YouTube or is Facebook or is social media, but struggles to keep up with the regularity or the consistency of posting all the time. And, it's a challenge. It really is a challenge. So hopefully you can be patient with me whilst I'm inconsistent and understand where I'm at. And I'm not sure what your expectation is as a follower. I know some of you are, I would almost call you friends now, or I would call you friends, especially those of you that are in the VIP group. We hang out a lot. A lot of you are connected with me personally on my personal Facebook and get to see, what I do outside of photography, right? Because there's a lot more to it than just photography for me. That's just a part of my life. And so thanks for that, thanks for the friendships. Thanks for the support. Love it. But everything is great. I'm feeling good. Business is good. Just struggling a little bit to keep up with the demands of social media and, what's got to be done there. So I'd love to hear your thoughts if you struggle with that at all. What do we got going on the chat? Mr. Dazza64, g'day. Greg says, social media takes the fun out of image making. Yeah, it can. I think, I went through a period many years ago where I would take a photo and I couldn't wait to share it. And I would edit it and I would upload it. And then the next day I'd look at it and go, God, Ben, that looks terrible. It's not well edited at all. And it felt like I was just rushing to put stuff up. And it's funny, I've got a video that I've started working on that I was hoping to get out this weekend. I think I will. But a lot of it's out of focus. And I had the new camera. I bought where is it? My little Canon, here it is. My little M50. So this one here, it's a great little vlogging camera. But the focus on this really struggles in low light, much more so than my G7X, which is this one here. With that little one that was my first vlogging camera that I've dropped a couple of times and has a cracked screen now. But so a lot of it was out of focus. But it was such a brilliant morning. I want to share it because I think it will inspire you. And I want to share that location. So it's actually quite a tricky edit to be able to share this footage. I'm trying to work out what's the best way to do it. I've got another video that I've got edited up where I dropped the GFX 50R. I think I told you about that one of these lives. So I've got some really, fun and interesting content, but also, I guess very honest and humbling content that I want to share with you as well. I just haven't got there. I haven't got there to edit it yet, but we will. Something to be said for keeping it simple, says Rick. Yeah, big odds. Chris, what is it? I can't even remember the last photo I posted on Instagram, Facebook. Life gets in the way of photography sometimes, and anyone has that has that problem. And anyone that has a problem, tough. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So that's my little share with you today, because I just wonder if I did have a couple of messages from people asking me if I was okay. I really appreciate that. And it's funny because I go quiet on social media. I think people do worry, and it's something you should worry. I guess it's a sign that something has changed, but it's not a bad thing. It just is. It is what it is, and I guess I do feel a pressure to provide content on a regular basis, but I can't always be there to deliver. There you go. So let's have a look. I have got some images to critique. And this is really this is the part I love about doing this, is this critiquing, because I get to see some amazing photos. And the mistake I made last year in 2018 was we did, just over 50 shows, and I didn't keep a copy of all the critiqued images. And this year what I've done is I've kept every single critiqued image after the edit in a folder, so I can go through everyone's images at the end and maybe use it for something. Who knows? Maybe we can do something as a collaboration. Would love to do that. I've even thought about working out how to collaborate with anybody with my videos. Like, is there something that I can do to help everybody get more exposure, or especially the VIPs? You guys are supporting me. If you want more exposure online, maybe drop me a line and see if there's something we can do together. Some of you have started your own YouTube channels. If you want to do something together that gives you some exposure and possibly some, a wider audience, let me know. All right, so let's jump over to my Lightroom so we can have a look at what's going on. So 2 images shot into me. One of them is from Rob Roy, which is the one on the left. Rob is a very big participator, and in fact the nucleus for why I started this show in the first place. Because when he first sent me a photo asking if I'd critique it, I said, do you mind if we do it live on a Facebook Live? And that's how all of this started. So, that's where we got to. We ended up doing this every week now. Or not every, well, we did it every week for a while whilst my computer crashed, and I've slowed it up a little bit because I found it was starting to get a little bit too disruptive to me being able to go out and shoot or do anything. So it became fortnightly, which is working well, I think. All right, Rick says, Ben, I think most who follow you appreciate what you do, mate. Cheers. Thanks, Rick. What are the flashing lights? What flashing lights? Have I got flashing lights somewhere? Where's the flashing lights? What were the flashing lights? Have I got flashing lights? Is it the camera doing something? Is it this camera doing something? I think the camera... Is that what you're talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. What's the flashing lights? Da-da-da. Is there flashing lights? Anyway, you guys can help me out and tell me what the flashing lights are in the comment box. I'll just move on because there is a delay between when I get your message and what I'm saying. I don't know what you're talking about with the flashing lights, but I can tell you that my camera, my little webcam, adjusts exposure automatically, and I can't turn it off. I've been trying to, and it does some weird stuff. So there you go. Anyway, here's two great photos. So one on the left is Rob Roy, one on the right is Ren Thielen, both very regular contributors and participators, and both VIPs. I really appreciate you guys sending these in. I haven't got many images in lately to critique, so if you do have an image you want critique, please send it in. Email address is down below, and I'll get it on the show. Love to get it on. All right, so let's start off with this one here by Rob Roy. I really love the composition in this. This here, to me, was a good score. This maple, I'm going to say maple leaf, but I don't know what sort of leaf it is. It's looks like a maple leaf, but it's, off of some tree. What sort of leaf is that, gang? Anybody want to help me? Is it a maple leaf? Maybe it is. From where Rob is in the US. Could be. Anyway, lovely leaf on a rock. It's got that little bit of isolation, and because it's so sharp and the water's got the movement in it, it actually works really, really well. We'll go through the technical details, and then what we'll do is we'll look at composition and some post-processing, because there's a couple of things I would do to really make the photo pop, especially the leaf on the rock. I think we could make that a bit more of a feature than what it is. So he shot this with his Nikon D850 24 to 85mm sort of lens at 3 seconds f16, 65mm ISO 64. So all of that's good. F16 gives him that longer shutter speed, as you can see. Got the movement in the water, which looks really nice. I will say my eyes want to just see this little bit of water here. You can see where it's sort of going around the rock to the left here. So maybe a slightly wider angle would have been nice, just to get that in there from a composition point of view. The other thing is, I know it's probably level, but because of this, the bank over the other side is not level, it sort of tricks the eye. So don't be afraid sometimes, if you can get away with it, just to straighten it up. Let's see what it does for auto. Yeah, so it's done it with the auto. Whether it was straight or not, I don't know. It could have well been straight, right? I know I do it all the time. I take a photo using my, using my level on the camera, the virtual level, and then I'll get it home and it doesn't look level. And quite often that's the case. So, don't be afraid to level it out a little bit, because no one else knows that, the situation, and that looks fine like that. It just, a little bit of a correction comes up. So Louis says, Louis, g'day Louis. That was a good song. Louis. Do you know that song? You've probably been sung it a million times. Aussie band though, so maybe not. I don't know where you are, Louis. Flashing lights, is the camera's auto exposure okay? Yeah, it's getting worse. It's my Logitech webcam. I have to try and work out how to turn that auto exposure off. I have noticed that. But anyway. So, yeah, don't be afraid to straighten up your photos. Even though you took them perfectly straight with your camera, then sometimes in post-processing, that's something that you can do. Now, I did mention before that my eye wants to see out to the left here. So you can see where the water is, being pushed around this rock, and the white foam is creating these really nice lines. It would have been nice to have that. And the other thing is, see, there's hardly any space down the bottom here where the reflection is. Just be really mindful of it. I think this rock with this leaf is the feature. You could definitely have gone wider, composed down a little bit, crop the top off a bit more. All of that wouldn't have mattered. And we'll come back to that in a second, because I am going to try and I know you're all going to love this. Let me get rid of that. Unlock the little, there we go. I'm going to try and just pano it a little bit to really focus in on the rock. Now, if you see what's going on here, this intersection here would be perfect if it was over the top of this leaf. We're not going to be able to do it, because otherwise we're going to cut half the rock off. But if we had a full image, just move that back up, a wider image, we could do that. We could definitely get away with that. I mean, it just looks great. I love that. You could even crop it down even more. Like, get rid of all the distracting rocks at the background. You could almost go something like, something like that and get away with it. Especially if it was a bit wider, you'd have that stream going around there. That would look good. Would look awesome. What I would do is I would definitely, there's a couple of things you could do here. You could vignette this. So let's go down to, let's get out of these basics. Let's go down to effects, and we'll do a post crop vignette, And we're going to go darker in the corners. So just darkening the corners, little tricks like this, just draw the eye into where we want the attention to be. So, that's a very, very quick vignette, post-crop vignette. If I just do a before and after, you see it's a very subtle difference, but it just takes the edge off the corners. The other thing I like to do is what I call my letterbox vignette, which is where I grab a graduated filter and I just drop the exposure down on I drop the exposure down on the... Oh, give me back my controls. There we go. Oh, on the top and the bottom. And sometimes that can be a really nice effect. So just depends on... Where's my... Oh. It's not got... There we go. It can be a really nice effect. So if I do one on the bottom as well, being careful because there's not a lot of room at the bottom. I've got to get rid of the clarity. I don't want clarity. Get rid of the clarity. But I've dropped the exposure. Right, so it just gives it this other effect. And you can also, you can do that in any way you like, but I like doing it at the top and the bottom. And I call it a letterbox because if you think about, I don't know if you've ever seen movies where they have the black band at the top and bottom like this. That's called a letterbox where they do that. So you can, that's called a letterbox. That's going extreme. But that's like a letterbox effect. So it's really making a pano inside a pano, if you like. I'll just get rid of those last two. So it just darkens the top and the bottom, and it just adds a little bit of something to me. I like the way it draws my eye in. The other thing I'd do is I'd grab a brush, and I would definitely have the clarity up, and I would just give this rock here a really good going over and its reflection with clarity. Like so. Look at that. Oh, lovely. Love this rock with the leaf on it. And then if I want to do something like, for example, bring the leaf detail up. This is where you can sort of zoom in and really work on... Let me just zoom out a bit. There we go. I want to really work on this leaf. I'll just zoom out just a tad. Zoom in just a little bit. What shall I go to? Not 11 to 1. Let's try 8 to 1. No, let's try 4 to 1. All right, there we go. So with a brush, if I have this auto mask here selected, as I go around the edges, and if I'll just put my backslash on so you can see what's happening. Get rid of that clarity. Oh, you can't do it. You can't do the brushing at the same time. But if I brush, as long as I keep the inner circle inside the leaf, what happens is I only apply my mask to inside the leaf, which means that when I make adjustments, you'll see it just affects the leaf. See how it's not adjusting the rock? So I can just make changes. Now I'm just doing this so I can show you what's going on. I'm doing it roughly. But as long as, see, there's two circles in the brush. There's like an inner circle and an outer circle. So if you change the feather, you'll see it changes the circle size. If you go all the way up like that, see how the inner circle changes. And then if you just, in these corners, you just got to make things smaller, and you can just get right up to the edges. Now I'm using exposure as my sort of mask, if you like. But you can actually show the mask if you want to see the mask by pressing the backslash key. So the / key, rather, is it? But a good way to do it whilst you're doing it is just see what effects you want to add to it. Now, what do I want to do with this? Well, I might saturate it. I can increase the saturation of the leaf. Maybe I can add some colour to the leaf. Look at this. I can add some reds. Yeah, I'm going to add some I'm going to make it stronger coloured, somewhere around there. And then see this here, actually adjust the saturation of the colour. So I don't know if you can see the leaf getting more colourful. So let's do that. Let's give the leaf a bit more clarity, a bit more contrast by bringing the blacks down, whites up. And just drop the highlights down a bit on the leaf. And just increase its sharpness and its clarity. There we go. All right. So now what I've done, let's zoom out fully. Bang. Have a look at that leaf now. So we'll do before and after. Can you see the difference in the leaf? So just something like that can really make the feature in your image really pop out. So to me, that looks really good. I'll zoom in a bit on that leaf so you can really see it. We'll go to, let's go to 2:1 so it's not too crazy. Before, after. Can you see the difference in the detail, the colour and the clarity? Even though, I mean, you can see the clarity of the rock as well. But just that little bit of adjustment on the leaf. And if I want to keep adjusting that leaf, let's say I'm not happy with it, then, you know, you've got your brush adjustments here. Just keep doing it. Maybe let's warm it up a bit more, you know. Hit it with a bit more warmth. You know, maybe I can drop the exposure just a tad. Bring the whites up a tad, a bit more clarity. Let's give it a bit of dehaze, which will really, you know, make it pop even a bit more. And then we zoom out. I mean, have a look at that leaf now, right? So it's almost popping off the photo. But see the difference though? Look at the colour in it. To me, that sort of thing makes all the difference. In fact, you could almost, with this photo now, we could almost, you know, do something drastic, like just make, it's going to be hard, but we could almost do something drastic and make a pano out of it that's just about that leaf. Oh. You know, something like that. Still not my favourite composition. If I had the full image, something like that even, you know, sort of works. You just got to play around with it until you're happy. But that leaf, I mean, it's a great shot. Well done, Rob. Love it. But that leaf now is really popping out. So when you do your post-processing, don't be afraid to try different things. And, you know, there's a few highlights there as well. So that's the other thing I'd do is I'd probably grab a radial filter or two, chuck them in the highlights. Make sure you hit the invert here so that it adjusts inside the filter. And I'm just going to bring the exposure down just a little bit, not too much, it'll look weird. And drop the highlights down inside my radial filter. Give it a good feathering. There we go. And then I'm going to duplicate that filter. Now I can sort of just drag it around and fix a few things up. That one's probably needs to come up a little bit. Same thing, duplicate that filter. And let's bring one down here somewhere. And this is like my way of digitally dodging and burning a photo. This is how I do it. I'm going to bring another one down here somewhere. I'm going to just drop this one down a bit more. Let's get rid of those highlights, stretch it out a bit. So you can sort of see how, you know, we take the glare off of the water. See where those really bright parts were, how they've gone. That's before, that's after. Let's do the full screen thing. Here we go. There we go. Before, after. Before, after. Great shot. Looks great, doesn't it? Hey, Dave, welcome. Better late than never. Yes. Yes. Before, after. Can you see the difference of that? I'd be even tempted to, you know, do more work on that rock. But I would love it if I could have that water flow out to the left here. But anyway, that gives you a bit of an idea of what's possible with a bit of extra editing put into it. Hopefully enjoyed that. So thanks, Rob, for sending that photo in, mate. Really enjoy it. And hopefully, I think when I move around a lot is when the flashing happens with the camera. So we'll see what happens. All right. What do you think of that shot, guys? Pretty good shot, eh? Pretty good shot. Guys, girls, I should say, not just guys. When I say guys, I'm talking to anyone who's watching. All right. Next one is a pano. So you know how much I love a good pano. Always love a good pano. All right, let's jump over to my screen. I'll share that with you. Let's have a look at what we've got here. So this one was shot in by Ren Thielen. It's a stitched pano. So I don't have all of the details here, unfortunately. That's no good. I can't tell you even any of... I've got no EXIF data in the photo. It was probably in the email. Anyway, it's a multi-stitch pano. Let's talk about composition. It's good to be trying different things out and having a go. When it comes to panos, especially water can be quite difficult. And if we zoom in, let's see how he went with stitching. Looks pretty good. It looks good because the waves aren't too crazy. I think the stitching has worked well. If you stitch a pano, sometimes what happens, if you're not careful with your timing of the photos, you'll get weird joints happening. That might be one just there, I think. Just there. So I don't know if you can see that through there. Without the original files, I wouldn't know. But you've got to be... There's another one, something there too, I think. So just with water, the trick with panos and water is take a longer exposure, because what will happen is your water will become flatter and it will merge together better. And it's just something that's difficult to do with stitched panos. Obviously, directly into the sun here, we can see these highlights here are blown out. If I jump into the develop module, you can see straight away where the red is. So they're blown out, which is going to happen. Sometimes you just can't avoid that. You've just got to be okay with it. And to me, from a composition point of view, it just doesn't quite work for me. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like it's a bit unbalanced. Like the sun's here, the rocks here, the whole right-hand side of this image doesn't have a lot going for it. There is a bird there that's not sharp. So just be careful when you're doing this. Just make sure you do your best to try and balance your image out. Now, a way to separate this and this would have been to move to the right and go, further away from it. And you could have, if the sun was over here, where my pointer is, if the sun was there and the rocks were over here, probably would have worked better. The other thing is, I think a little bit of shadow increase on these rocks wouldn't hurt either. So you can see the difference if I just bring those shadows just a little bit. Just going to bring the whites back a little bit. Let me just try and adjust this to get rid of those highlights. Shadows up a bit. It's always tricky, but try and get the white balance right as well. Somewhere about there. But, I mean, this is a Nikon D7200. I think that's what Ren shoots with. And you can see it gets all the detail, even in the shadows. So don't be afraid to push it up a little bit. But to me, I would be tempted to do something more. It's a bit hard because I don't have enough of the file. Even something like that. Well, the other thing you could have done, I mean, these rocks have interesting shapes, is move more to the left and sat this sun somewhere above the rock, so it sort of framed it. Would look good. Maybe just something like that. I think that, I think it's just the composition doesn't work for whatever reason. So just be careful in the way. I think what needs to happen is there needs to be more of this rock in there. The sun needs to be more over to the right, and you'll get a better result. So it's not a lot I'm going to do with this one. But just keep an eye on that when you're going to do a pano, and that's the trick with the water, is just go a longer exposure and see how you go with the longer exposure. But thanks heaps, guys, for sending those in. I really appreciate it. And I'll put those into the finished folder. So we'll put those down there now, actually. I'll show you in that folder. So we're getting a really good collection of amazing photos from people that have sent photos in this year. Have a look at all these photos. Now, these are all after, me working on them all. Check them all out. These are all the photos that have been sent in this year. All right. How good's this? These are all the photos that viewers have taken. Or did I already do that one? Looks like I did. There you go. I thought it was familiar. Look at all these. Maybe that's not in any order. I didn't think it. Maybe I haven't done it. So So these are all the images that have been shot in from people in the past. So a total of 23 images. No, I hadn't done it before. No, I was just sitting in there. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for in a couple of weeks. Bit of snow on the mountain. So to everyone that's been sending in their photos for critique, thank you. Thank you. And if you haven't sent a photo in for critique, send it in. Send it in, and the details are down below in the chat as to where you email it to. 3,000 pixels on the widest edge. And I'll critique it live on the show. Some beautiful photos. Absolutely beautiful. That have been on this show. Look at those. How good are they? There we go. All right, that's all of them. Yeah, so thanks to Ren and to Rob for sending in your photos. Really appreciate it. Alrighty. Okie dokie. Well, there you go. How's everyone doing? Yeah, been some good entries, hasn't there? Been some great entries. So how do I go? I can see it flickering and flashing. How do I go about fixing that? Webcam. I don't know how I go about fixing that. I don't even know where to start. Webcam. Where's my webcam? No idea. Maybe it's in preferences. Anybody any ideas how I turn that off so it doesn't keep doing that auto exposure? Or will it just do it? It's just going to do it. I think it's because I move around. Yeah. It's quite weird, isn't it? Must be annoying for you. Is it annoying? I don't even know where to start to look to fix that. I'm just looking through my options. I can't even see the webcam in my settings. So I've got no idea where to fix that. Maybe there's something in my... I'll have to look at that later. If anyone's got any ideas, I would love to hear from you as to how to go about fixing it, because I've got no idea. I can't see anything on my computer that will let me adjust it. So it's just going to be a disco here. That's what it's going to be. My skin colour changes, does it? Yeah. Alrighty, well that's it for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Just a reminder, there won't be any Pixel Chatter for a month. I will be in Tassie. I'll try and do something from Tassie during the workshop. Once I'm up in the Tarkine region, I won't have any internet access at all. I'm going off the grid for a few days and staying in an eco lodge that has no internet whatsoever. There's no connection, no phone service, nothing. So, but I'll be up there shooting some rainforest, looking to get some nice macro in and enjoying. G'day, Anthony. You are running a bit late today, aren't you? That's right. You can go back and watch the past. I'm running early today. How's that? A hammer fixes most things. Yeah. I don't have a hammer that if I'm going to hit the webcam, that might not work so well. But I don't know where it picks up the light from. There we go. This side here. I'm just putting my finger over the side of it. So I'm not sure how it works, but there's some sort of sensor on the right hand side of it that's picking up the light. All right, enjoy the rest of your Easter. Stay safe. Don't eat too many chocolates tomorrow, otherwise you'll feel sick. Get out and take some photos. I'll see you in a month, so put that in your diary. I'll remind you all anyway. And for Therese, congratulations on winning the challenge. Let me know what theme you want for the next challenge, and I'll get that uploaded for you. And I noticed that I didn't put a new editing challenge up, so sometimes I need reminding. It's usually Brian reminds me. Brian's really good at that. I do appreciate it when he gives me a nudge, but I must have forgot to do it. So sorry about that, gang. I will endeavour to do that today. Anyway. That's it. Over and out from me. Happy Easter. Enjoy your week, and take some time on the 25th for those of you in Australia and New Zealand to remember those that have given us the freedom that we have today for Anzac Day, which is coming up on Thursday this week, which is a very meaningful day for a lot of us. All right, take care, and I'll catch you next time. Cheerio.